You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Hi, welcome to another Cold Fusion video. Honda. For decades, this brand has been seen as a friendly face in the auto industry. With taglines like "the power of dreams," there's always been a sense that Honda isn't just a money-making machine. There seems to be a curiosity behind their engineering. This fits exactly with the attitude of their namesake, Soichiro Honda, who founded the company. In this video, we're going to take a look at the story of Honda and how one small Japanese company became a household name. The story starts with Soichiro Honda, born in 1906 in the rural village of Konyo in Japan. Soichiro's father was a blacksmith, and the young boy spent much of his time helping him repair bicycles. From his experience in his father's workshop, Soichiro had an early love for engine mechanics. At age 15, without a formal education, Soichiro left his small village and headed to Tokyo in search of work. He soon found himself working as an apprentice in an auto garage. At just age 17, he would develop a race car that won trophies and set a new average speed record. It was clear that the boy had talent. In 1937, he decided to start his own company, mainly focusing on making piston rings. That same year, his company managed to receive a large order from a brand new car manufacturer named Toyota. Unfortunately, Soichiro would lose the contract due to the quality of his parts not being up to scratch. He chose not to give up though, and decided to attend engineering school, though without graduating, and take a close look and observation at factories around Japan. He spent 2 years painstakingly observing the best engineering practices. Once he did this, he understood the purpose of quality control, and by 1941, Honda was able to mass-produce piston rings acceptable to Toyota. The orders from Toyota was actually much larger than Honda could manage in his current workshop, so he wanted to build a new one. But a major issue stood in his way. Japan was gearing up for World War II, and this meant that a lot of materials were in short supply, particularly cement. So, Honda had to work out how to make his own cement before being able to build a new factory to meet Toyota's order. These new factories did survive the war, but Mother Nature, who was never one to miss out on a practical joke, destroyed the buildings in an earthquake. Honda decided to cut his losses and sold the whole business to Toyota, allowing him to focus on his first true love, the motorbike. So while materials had been scarce before the war, now that the fighting was over, Honda and the people of Japan were faced with a shortage of petrol. What people really needed was a way to get around easily while being extremely fuel efficient. Honda saw this gap in the market. His plan was to start installing surplus military engines onto traditional bicycles, creating a kind of hybrid. The first product put to the market was the A-Type motorbike. By 1949, he had a fully designed frame and engine on a bike called the Model D, and the D stood for Dream. At this point, he joined forces with Takeo Fujisawa and created the Honda company as we know it today. Fujisawa brought capital, but more than money, he brought business and financial insight. Honda's fascination with mechanics led to an incredible redesign of the 4-stroke engine. With this new innovation, he managed to double the horsepower. This redesign helped Honda capture 15% of the Japanese motorcycle market within a few years. However, Soichiro didn't really care about that. For him, the breakthrough was that this engine could mean a lot for Honda's performance on the track, and soon the racing achievements easily matched those of the business. By the end of the 1950s, they had won every important prize you can think of all around the globe. Soichiro probably would have driven the machines himself if it hadn't been for a racing accident back in 1936, which seriously injured his left eye. Soichiro would later describe how he worked so hard in his cars that he would go a week without sleep just to perfect their problems. He stated that he saw the car as his child, and he as its mother. The push for success on the track led to many developments that could be put into future production machines. So naturally, you would think that Honda would build on this brand of a world-beating speed machine, but they did just the opposite. The company's main success was driven by the 1958 50cc Super Cub, which had been specifically designed to be a safe and simple runabout. They specifically wanted a product that included women and other individuals who otherwise wouldn't ride a motorcycle. This was to expand on the typical male customer base of the motorbike. The Super Cub bike needed to be easy enough to drive with just one hand so customers could carry their shopping or deliver a package. It was basically a bike for running errands, and it sold in huge numbers. Within just 2 years of its release, the Super Cub made Honda the biggest motorcycle manufacturer in Japan, and surprisingly, the Super Cub itself is still in production. Over 100 million have now been manufactured, making it the most produced motor vehicle in history. Honda, riding high on the Super Cub's popularity, thought it was time to look across the seas. They set up American Honda Company in 1959. Interestingly, Honda didn't rely on established distributors because they knew that they weren't going after the existing motorcycle market. They were going to create an entirely new one for people who previously thought motorcycles were dangerous. It was a complete reversal of the big macho image in the United States, thanks in part to celebrities like James Dean and Elvis. So to highlight this different approach by Honda, they sold their bikes in sporting goods stores, hobby shops, and even hardware stores instead of existing bike retailers. And their tagline really hit the point home. It was, "You meet the nicest people on a Honda." And it worked. Within a year, almost 50% of the bikes sold on American soil were from Honda. Maybe this shows the